Hi everyone, welcome back to our discussion on Oracle 19c Multitenant architecture. So in the last video we discussed about creating a PDB from scratch from seed PDB, and we discussed about different parameter and create uh, database clause that plays a role in defining the PDB file location. So today we're going to create some more PDB with a different option. One is we'll create again another PDB from seed PDB, but we will use a few options: file name convert option, and how you can create additional data table space while creating database if you want to add one more table space. And there is one clause called path prefix. So if you put a location directory in path prefix here, so all your data file, current and future, everything has to reside inside this directory path, and you cannot change it. So normally, unless there is a strong reason, I would say not to use this option. So let's go ahead and create some more PDB with different option. We'll also create PDBs by cloning a local PDB. So let's start. So this is my database. I've already logged in CDB1. I'm on container database, root container. So if I do show PDBs, so all these are PDBs I've already created. So all already mounted state, because the container database was just started. So we can start all this PDBs at once. So in next video we talk about all different mode of a PDB, how to stop and start a PDB. So more about that. So this is one of the command to how you can open a PDB in read-only mode. So next is we're going to create the next option is similar to the first one with no clause, but only difference is you are using this roles clause to grant any additional roles to this admin user. Normally it will have there's a role called PDB DBA role, but if you want to add additional roles to it, you can use role clause. So next one is where you use file name convert option, and you can create additional table space. So let's try this. So we need to do this is this sample syntax. We'll use it. Let's say, so I have PDB1E. Let's say I want to create one PDB1F. Okay, and I'm going to create. So this is storage. The maximum size of the PDB can be 2 GB. This is how we define. Let's say I am creating one table space, one default table space for this is PDB1F underscore TS, for example. PDB1F underscore TS, and all the file location of all the PDBs. Let's see where they're located. So I'm just running this SQL from root container. So if you want to see the data for all the PDBs, you can use this data dictionary. If you use CDB data files instead of DB data files. DB data files you can use when you are trying to fetch some data. You are inside a PDB and you are logged in as to the PDB, and you are trying to get some data from that PDB. So the CDB will have a container ID column. So if I say let's say I want to copy from 1A, so container ID 3. So these are the, so it goes to F software app Oracle 19c or data CDB1, then the GUID of the PDB, and then these are the Oracle managed file. Because this data files are created based on the OMF format. So if you my DB create file destination parameter is set to F software app Oracle 19c or data. So when I created this PDB, I didn't use any clause, so Oracle automatically picks up this location and added CDB1 and the PDB GUID and data file folder, and then created a Oracle managed file naming format. Now I'm going to, let's say I want to create one new PDB called PDB1F, but I don't want to store in this location. I want to store maybe after Ora data CD PDB1F. For example, if you go here, F software app Oracle 19c Ora data. So instead of CDB1, let's say I want to store here PDB1F. I want to store all my data files for PDB1F inside this. Since it is a different path structure, I need to use file name convert, because in database DB file name convert is not set to anything. So let's try that. So what I'll say is, wherever it is this, so file name convert is like the format is wherever I have this, I want to use this folder. So I want to replace it whenever it is creating a data file. When it is cloning a data file from PDB1A, wherever in data file directory path use Oracle will see this, it will replace with this. So the data file will be created here. So now, okay, path prefix, we're not going to use it because it is not it's not required. So this is also I'll create in my this table space, additional table space that I'm creating, that also I can put it in PDB1F. So if you want, while creating a PDB, you can create your own table space also. So now this is done. So let's try. But I've tried this. It is going to, most probably it's going to throw an error, and I'll explain what is the error about and how to fix it. So let's try this and see if it works or not. See, it is throwing an error, Ora 65005 missing or invalid file name, pattern or file. Okay, I see what this is. This is okay. So we are creating this is a different error. So we are creating this PDB from seed. So we have to use a seed database file name in the convert option. So that I have used PDB1A directory path, so that should be changed. So let's go to PDB set container PDB $seed. See, once I'm inside PDB, I'm just using DB data files. Search data file. So this is the location of seed PDB. F. So this is, I need to use it in the DB convert. So instead of, because I'm cloning from seed PDB, so I have to use seed PDB file name and then use the conversion. So when I'm creating data file for PDB1F, it should come here. So now let's try this command. Okay, sorry, I'm inside PDB. I need to change the root container. Okay, if I use the command now, so I'm in the root container now. So you have to always start with root container. Okay, so now it is giving an error. Aura 01276 cannot add file. 01mf system, this file has an Oracle managed file. So what does it mean is, since these are all Oracle managed file, if you look at the file name for seed PDB, if you look at the file name, see, these are all Oracle managed file. So Oracle is looking at this file naming convention as, understand this is an Oracle managed file. So it's saying it cannot use the conversion. It has to use the Oracle managed file option or format. So it cannot use the, cannot add this file. So which is already Oracle managed file, and we already have DB create files destination is set. So Oracle is saying we cannot, file has an Oracle managed file name, so it cannot be used in convert. So to fix this, the workaround is we have to remove this 01mf while converting. We have to replace this 01mf also. So how to do that? You so in the conversion itself, you have to use this 01mf because it is Oradata PDP1F. So Oracle is saying you are using an Oracle managed file, but you are not putting it in the Oracle managed OMF directory. So I cannot put it in some other directory with OMF name. So we need to fix this. So what we can do is, if you look at the seed PDB, so I've looked at Oracle documentation and all. Even I saw this error while doing a test. CDB1 data file 001mf. So you just use this, and we need to replace this also. So wherever I see app software app Oracle 19c or data CDB1 data file 01mf, it will replace with this. So it will from the file name, it will replace this one also. It will remove this 01mf, and then it should work. Let's try this. You might see one more error from the temp file. I saw that temp file will fix that also. So I'm just running this just to show you what is the reason for this, and what is the error, and how it can be fixed, and what is the reason for Oracle throwing this error, so you understand how things are working. So now what happened was, it is throwing missing invalid file name pattern for file temp file. It is throwing an error for temp file. It's saying whatever conversion name you have, conversion pattern you have given here, it is not matching with temp. So it doesn't know what to do, because temp doesn't have 01mf, temp has temp. So we need to add one more conversion entry. So you can have multiple conversion also in Oracle. So to take care of temp file, instead of 01mf, just r temp. So it will be temp. Okay. This is whenever it sees this directory path, it will replace with this one is a 101 mapping. When it sees this directory path in the file name, it will replace with this one. Okay, I think it works this time. It is creating. So I just wanted to show you uh, that you might encounter this kind of error if you're using file name convert and how to fix it. It's very important for you to understand. Otherwise, you'll see this error and you'll be struggling for hours and searching here and there. Okay, pluggable database created. Let's do a show PDBs as a mounted state, and there are a few views you can use. There are a few things I have here. One is $PDBs and DBA PDBs and DBA PDBs will show you the status. Let's run this. So PDB1F is showing new. Everything is normal. This is new. And $PDB will show you the open mode and everything. So PDB1F open mode is mounted. So you have to start this PDB alter pluggable database PDB1F. Okay, so the pluggable database, let's see the status now. Read write, and open mode is read write, and the status is now normal. So this is how you can create a PDB from seed, either using no clause at all, or you can use a lot of option. Here, no clause at all, just create pluggable database will work. Otherwise, you have some specific requirement of moving files to a different location, you can use this different option. Now let's move on to do the same, create few PDBs from cloning a local PDB. So in the first option, so all the files will be copied from seed to create a new PDB, and it will be plugged into root. This similar operation happens in this case also. Only thing is the files are copied from local PDB. The files of the source database is copied to a new location, and then it is plugged into the root container to create new PDB. So you have to just use create pluggable database command and use a from clause. So from which PDB you want to clone it. So you can use a very simple option called create pluggable database PDB2 from PDB1. So no clause, it will use the same option, same table. You can remember it will use this one of this parameter to decide the PDB file location. It will create the PDB for you. So let's try this. Let's say create so before you go there, we created PDB1F using file name conversion. Let's check the file location. Container ID equal to container ID is 9 here. 9, so we'll use 9. So as you can see, the location is our data PDB1F. So all the files has gone to 1F as we specified in our command. PDB1FTS, that's the additional table space we created during the pluggable database creation, that is there. We have the temp file also. As you can see, the O1MF is removed because we replaced using the conversion option, so that command is removed now. So system is jmr3dgfm. So if you go to cdb data file, this is our seed. System is jmr3dgfm. So what it did, it just removed this o1mf and then used the remaining file names for the new PDB. So let's create another PDB by cloning a local PDB. Local PDB means from the same CDB. Create pluggable database PDB1G from PDB, let's say I'll say 1A. Okay, pluggable database created. So this is very simple. It will use the same DB create file destination option and all option from the PDB1A. There is also a way of, like previously we did, we also can using create file name conversion option. So let's create one PDB1H from PDB1A. Will not use this path prefix option, and you can actually do a service name convert. We'll talk about service also. And no logging is so during pluggable database logs, redo logs will not be created. So let's you can use that option also. File name converter, as we mentioned, let's see where is the file located in PDB1A. We have to use the same technique as we did in the previous command. Yeah, we need to use CDB because DBA doesn't have this. Oh, typo. Okay, so in PDB1A, this is the directory path, and we have to replace this with our new one. And as I explained before, we need to replace this OMF naming convention also. Let's try that. So this is for PDB1H. Let's create one directory here, PDB1H. So we'll use this option. So all the direct files will be created inside this directory. Okay. And then also we need to take care of this temp file. So this also, it is the same option. Instead of just, oh, it has o1mf temp also. So I think then it will work. So you don't have to worry about it, because in temp file also has the same naming convention, o1mf. So let's try. We don't have to add separately for temp. Yeah, as you can say, the PDB is created. If you go to the directory, you can see all those files are located inside PDB1S directory, but this OMF option, the names are prefix are missing. So there is another way of creating a PDB by cloning is you can just clone the data model, not the data. So it will create all the schema, table structure, table, everything, but there will be no application data, only system data will be copied. So let's try this option. It's a very good option if you want to make a copy of your database, and then no let's say you want to you have a database and an application, and you want to create the same database for another site. So every geographic location, every business unit or every site will have a different application database. So then you want to make a copy, but you don't want to copy the data. So some similar kind of situation. PDB 1i, let's say I'll create from PDB 1a with no data. Let's try this option. Okay, so we've created a pluggable database. So there are different these are the different option of cloning a local PDB, and so that's all we're going to talk about creating a PDB. For now, there are different ways, as I mentioned in my previous slides, of creating it from a remote CDB. You can copy, or you can unplug and then plug. We'll explore more on those options in some of the later videos. But that's it for today. Next video we'll talk about how to stop and start a PDB and what are the different modes of a PDB, and then next we'll talk about some user management, security and privilege permissions, how to administer a PDB, and so on. So that's all for today. Thanks for joining. Thank you. Bye bye.